Greetings, welcome, and thank you for clicking. I'm Christian of Standing Stones Healing Company, encouraging your journey with Reiki, card reading, and coaching for life's changes, challenges, and transitions. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Ask the Stones, offering spiritual guidance and encouragement for life's challenging questions. Greetings and welcome to this episode of Ask the Stones. As always, it is a great honor to have you join me. Thank you. This week's question comes from Shondra. I love flowers. I spent all year planting and growing and enjoying the garden in my new home I moved into last year. I keep adding flowers and want even more, but my kids all laugh at me, tell me I have enough flowers, and don't understand why I'm so into my yard. I tell them that I raised the 5 of them, and now I'm raising flowers. But they've got me wondering if I'm obsessed and if this is weird. Well, Shondra, thanks so much for this question. I want to say congratulations on your move into your new home. I know it's been some time. You mentioned it was last year, but I want to say congratulations to you for that. And congratulations to you on what sounds like a lovely yard. Now, Shondra and all those listening, I myself am a gardener. I myself love to plant. I myself am ever expanding my gardens. And so, Shondra, I don't think you can ever have too many flowers. So I say to you, yes, this is wonderful, and keep going, keep growing. But I can understand your trepidation is the word that really popped into my head here, Shondra, because of the feedback that you're getting from your children, your 5 children. Congratulations on that as well. But I think the real challenge here is that this is something you obviously really love. And sometimes when we are really invested in things and love things, the people who are close to us aren't so much in love with those things themselves and don't understand why we might be so invested and in love with those things. But I do want to say, Shondra, that what I think is really exciting about your question is the fact that you have really found something that you love. And when we find things that we are really into, really interested in, and really that light our fire, we can really just want to jump right in and get into it and just allow it to expand our soul. And so, Shondra, I'm really going to encourage you to lean into that. Allow that to happen. Make it happen. Celebrate it's happening. Because you are really into this. You love the flowers. You want the flowers. You want more flowers. And I think that's a wonderful thing. You know, when we find something that really does light our fire and we really jump into, I think that's a beautiful thing. So, Shondra, yeah, I say go with it. I don't think it's weird. As a fellow gardener, I don't think it's weird at all. And I'm sure plenty of people listening have passions that they enjoy and things that they love and that they get just as fired up about. So, Shondra, you get fired up about those flowers and enjoy them, expand those gardens, and care for that yard. But the thing here is the resistance of your kids. And I think exploring that might really be helpful for you in this instance, because obviously there's enough resistance from them that it has you questioning your love. It has you questioning whether or not this is really a good thing. And Shondra, let's be honest. This is flowers we're talking about. It's not like you're telling me that you really love, fill in the blank with any kind of destructive behavior. It's not like you're saying that you really love to make crystal meth or something. You're telling me that you really love growing flowers. And so, Shondra, this is a completely beautiful and wonderful thing to be invested in. So it's really your kid's resistance really has you questioning this beautiful hobby, this beautiful activity that you really enjoy and that really fills your soul. And I think it's helpful to consider for yourself why that might be, why your kids might be having some resistance to this. You did raise them, 5 of them, congratulations. And I don't know their ages, but I'm going to assume that they are older, since you mentioned that you nurtured them and now you are taking care of the flowers. So, Shondra, I'm wondering if maybe there's a piece of your kids that are feeling a little, I don't know that I want to use the word left out, the phrase left out, but almost as though you are transplanting your love for them onto flowers and onto your yard. Now, I'm not saying that you're doing that at all, Shondra. What I'm just trying to do is explore why they might be resistant to this beautiful, wonderful experience for you. And I want to encourage you to just reflect on that and to ask yourself if your relationship with them has changed recently, maybe since moving into your home, maybe since they've reached a certain point in their life journey, and just to explore for yourself if you have changed in your relationship with them, if they have changed in their relationship with you. And of course, change is not a bad thing. That is a normal and natural thing. And your relationship with them, of course, is going to change and evolve, as it should. That's part of a healthy relationship. But I'm just wondering, Shondra, if maybe they are having feelings of jealousy over the flowers, that you are now pouring all of your love, attention, time, money into the flowers, and if maybe they are just feeling a little neglected, like maybe they are in need of some watering and fertilizer. Of course, I don't know that, but I really want to encourage you to just reflect on that, examine that, and maybe ask yourself if there are ways that you can, or may want to, I should say, try to reassure them that you do still love them and that they are still very important to you and that you want to continue to raise them. I said nurture, but you didn't actually say that. But that is definitely the image that I got, the impression that I got is one of nurturing. Here you are, having nurtured 5 children, and now you are nurturing flowers. But no matter how old we are, we all still need nurturing. And we all still need to be cared for. And I think even from our mothers, no matter how old we might be, that it is something that I should say, I am going to speak for myself here, Shondra. I know that I want from my own mother, is the nurturing and that special relationship with her. And even though I'm perfectly capable of taking care of myself, I'm a 41-year-old adult who has done pretty well taking care of myself by myself, I still want and need my mom. And so, and I still want and need to be nurtured by her. And so, Shondra, I really want to encourage you to just examine and reflect upon. Maybe your children are in some way, shape, or form a little jealous of those flowers and wanting nurturing from you and just wanting to make sure that that continues. So I'm not saying that that's the case, Shondra. I'm just encouraging some thinking about that and reflecting on that. Something else I really think is beneficial to discuss here in your question is this idea of your love for something that other people are obviously not so into. Other people just don't understand. And I don't know about you, but I've certainly had that experience of being interested in things that people are like, ugh, really? You're interested in that? Or, ugh, why are you interested in that? Or, Christian, you want to spend your day all day doing that? Are you serious? Give me a break. Most of us have had that experience of people maybe not understanding why we're so interested in certain things and why we enjoy the activities that we enjoy. And so I think that this is a pretty common thing, a normal thing at least to have happen, where people will maybe look at us like we're kind of weird to enjoy the things that we do, even when it comes to something like flowers. Which, let's be real, Shondra, as a fellow gardener, I know you know what I mean when I say, how could that be the case? But when we have this feeling of other people just don't understand me or other people just don't get it, it can really cause us to question our own interests and to wonder if we are weird for our interests, and even if there's something wrong with us for our interests. And so I really want to encourage all of us that we are all unique individuals. We all have our own interests. We all have our own things that we enjoy. We all have our own things that light our fires. And so someone might be listening to this and saying, flowers? Are you serious? They're really going crazy over flowers? I don't get it. And so I think it's important for us to recognize that we are all going to have interests, obsessions, hobbies, activities, things that we like to do or learn about that other people just don't get. And it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with us, and it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with the other person. This world is so wide and vast, with so many experiences and things to do and learn and ways to be, that I think it's important for us not to limit ourselves to the possibilities of what might really light us up and what might really get us going and what we might be passionate about. The world is vast and wide. Why do you put on your robe at the sound of the bell? This is an old Buddhist parable, but I think really it's beneficial in thinking about this to say this world is so big and there's so much in it, so much possibility. And let's not limit ourselves with what we might be interested in, what we might get ourselves into, and really acknowledging that the possibilities are endless for our interests and for what we might want to do. And so, Shondra, it sounds to me like this has not been a lifelong joy for you, that you are now finding joy in flowers, and that this is something that has maybe blossomed since you've moved into your new home. And so maybe your past self had no interest in flowers, and maybe your past self would be really surprised that now, whoa, you're really into flowers, you're really into gardening, you just want flowers, you're obsessed with flowers. Maybe your past self wouldn't be able to believe that. So I think it's important for us to be open to the things that might interest us in the future, because we never know. We never know what we might get into. And I think that's one of the great beauties of this amazing world, is that there's just so much possibility that it's mind-boggling. And I think that there's so much possibility that we do a disservice to ourselves if we shut ourselves off from that possibility and shut ourselves off from the crazy things that we might be interested in at some point in our lives. I think also along with that, Shondra, that it's important for us to recognize that fact for other people. That your kids might get into some interests that really you are not into, that really don't interest you. And you might say, ugh, really? They're into X, they're into Y, they're into Z? I don't get it. I just don't get it. That could happen for you as well with your children and friends, family, loved ones, that you're just kind of scratching your head over and saying, I don't get it. So it's important for us to be open to other people's passions, to the passions that they might develop, that they might acquire, and be open to those. Just like your kids aren't understanding of your flowers, and it has you feeling a bit self-conscious, Shondra. Let us not do that to other people. And let us not shut down other people's interests and other people's passions. You know, as long as it's not hurting anyone else, it's a great thing to have a passion that you're really into, that fills up your soul, that brings you joy. And so let's all strive to encourage and support one another in our passions, and to cheer one another on in our passions. You know, if you think about it, Shondra, wouldn't it be such a different experience for you if your kids, instead of saying, I just don't get it, Mom, whatever, if instead your kids said, wow, Mom, this yard is beautiful. Wow, look at these flowers. Wow, you are really into this. That is great. I'm so glad that you have found something that really lights your fire like these flowers do. You would not be asking me this question at all. Or actually, there's really no question here, Shondra. You would not be seeking encouragement on your flower hobby, your flower passion. You would not be questioning whether or not it's weird, because your kids are giving you affirmation, validation, and encouraging you in your passion. And so let us be that person for others. Let us be that person who validates and approves and encourages and says, yes, you love the flowers? Go for it, Mom. Plant those flowers. I love the beautiful garden. It brings me joy too. And what really brings me joy is seeing you so joyful. Let us all do that for one another. Because I think anytime we have joy and passion and our soul feels filled by our activities, that is a beautiful thing. And so definitely let us encourage that in one another. You know, Shondra, with your garden, I want to encourage you to keep gardening, not just for yourself, but for others as well, because you actually don't know who might be touched by your gardens, by your yard. And maybe your kids aren't right now, but maybe someday they will be. Maybe someday they'll look in that yard and say, wow, look at what Mom has done. And this is actually really beautiful. And they may have a change of heart. And they may have a change of heart as they see that this is something that you love and that fills you with joy. And they may have a change of heart seeing the beauty that you create in the world. And they may have a change of heart just because flowers are powerful. And, you know, they can really bring joy. I speak about this, Shondra, from my own experience. As I mentioned, I have a garden, a yard, and I am ever expanding my gardens, whether they are my vegetable gardens or my flowers. And I have to tell you that I live on a corner, and my yard has literally stopped traffic, where people have literally stopped in the middle of the street and shouted to me, "Oh my gosh, your yard is beautiful." I've had people stop and take pictures. I looked out my kitchen window one day and there was a young woman taking a selfie with the Black-Eyed Susans. And I looked out and I said, "Is everything okay? Are you okay?" Now, I knew what she was doing, but I didn't want to say, "Hey, you're taking pictures of my flowers." Of course it was okay. What I really was trying to do was to strike up a conversation so that I could cut some flowers for her to take home with her. But she just was like, "I'm okay," snapped a few more selfies and jumped in the car and drove off. But my yard is bringing joy. And it was not my original intent. My original intent was to fill myself with joy. And now, after being in my home for 3 years now, I see the joy that it brings to my neighbors, to people walking by, to people driving down the street. And that fills me with even more joy. And that really inspires me to continue to expand my gardens, not just for me, but for anyone who might come by. I'm also inspired to do it not just for the anyone in human form, but the anyone in animal and insect form. I'm so blessed to have so many interesting creatures come to my yard. I have all kinds of bees. I counted this summer 10 different kinds of butterfly. I have praying mantises. I have a snake, I guess. I have squirrels and chipmunks. All kinds of things that come to my yard. And so my yard is not just for me, not just for my neighbors. It's also for the life that crowds around and enjoys the yard. And so, Shondra, I want to encourage you because you don't know who your plantings might touch. You don't know what kind of inspiration others might get from it. Now, we're talking here in a very literal sense. You are planting flowers and they are giving their beautiful gifts. But this is also true in a metaphorical sense. When we plant our metaphorical seeds of love and beauty in the world, we don't know where they might go in terms of the way that they inspire people, the messages that they send, the inspiration, the love that goes out into the world. And so, Shondra, you don't know when you plant your literal seeds what blessings you are sending out into the world. Just like we can't always know what blessings will come from our metaphorical seeds that we plant. And so, Shondra, I want to encourage you to keep planting those literal seeds and to keep planting those metaphorical seeds of love and compassion, gratitude, beauty, because those are going to have effects that you may never know, you may never see, but the bees see and the bees appreciate. The birds that are right now eating all of my sunflower seeds, it's actually a joy to watch the finches sit on the sunflowers and eat the seeds. Or the sparrows all flocking in the black-eyed Susans and eating those seeds. When you plant your seeds, Shondra, the flowers that come from those seeds are going to nurture all kinds of things. Bees, birds, squirrels, passing neighbors, cars driving down the street. You just don't know what impact your seeds can have. And one of the absolute beautiful things about it, Shondra, is that it is such a cycle. You plant the seeds, they grow into beautiful flowers that attract bees and butterflies. People see it and they are filled with joy at the beautiful garden. And all of that fills you with joy even more to see the beautiful butterflies and the bees and to have people tell you that they are so filled with joy at the sight of the things that you have planted in the world. And that just inspires you to plant even more. And so if you aren't right now getting that inspiration from others, Shondra, if you're not hearing, oh, this is a beautiful yard, this is a beautiful garden, thank you for planting, thank you for bringing these seeds into the world. If you're not seeing butterflies and bees, they are on their way. They haven't gotten here yet, but they are on their way. So Shondra, keep planting those seeds, keep cultivating those flowers, because maybe not right away. You know, the first year I had my garden, I didn't have nearly so many bees and butterflies as I do now. And now I have all kinds, more than I can count. So keep planting those seeds. Be patient and know that the blessings will come from them. Know that they will be sending out blessings, that the bees and the butterflies will be blessed, the neighbors, the friends, even your children will be blessed. And the joy that you put out into the world will come back to you. And it will come back to you in ways that you cannot even imagine or guess at. So Shondra, I want to encourage you to keep planting. And I want to encourage all of us to keep planting. If you have a literal garden, yes, keep planting that literal garden. And what I'm really getting at here is those metaphorical gardens and the planting of the love and the beauty and the cultivating of all of those wonderful things into the world, your passion, your joy, your full soul that is just overbrimming. Plant those seeds. Nurture those seeds. And know that even if the flowers aren't bringing the love, so to say, from your children right now, trust and know that they will. Just keep planting, keep caring and nurturing, keep sending your love into that soil, those seeds, those flowers. Send your love into the bees and the butterflies, the birds that come by, that are nurtured by the things that you have nurtured, the neighbors who stop and say, wow, that's really pretty. Just send that love out into the world, Shondra, and it will come back to you. Keep planting those flowers, Shondra, because if they're nurturing you now, just wait. They will nurture you more and more and more. Oh, Shondra, this is beautiful. I'm going to send Reiki. I'm going to send Reiki to your garden, to your flowers. I'm so happy for you. And I'm so happy for all of us with all of the things that really fill us with joy and the things that we send out into the world with joy and the things that we are blessed to bring into the world in joy. I encourage you, if you love something and your friends are telling you, what? I don't believe you're into that. Why are you into that? That makes no sense. Let it make no sense to them. It doesn't have to make sense to them. Not everything you do is going to make sense to others. That is for sure true, right? So go on with your loves. Go on with your passions. Go on with your interests. Because when we live a life filled with joy, that has an impact. When we do the things that we want to do in the world and that excite us and that we're passionate about, that is a beautiful gift to bring to the world. That is the planting of a seed. And so whether we have passions that people understand or not, well, you're going to have people that don't understand them, just like there are going to be people who do understand them. Remember, the world is vast and wide, and not everyone is going to want to put on their robes at the sound of the same bell. So honor your bell and honor the call that you feel. Honor the urgings of your own soul, because that, in the end, is really what matters. And when you are bringing that joy into the world, you are doing good for the whole world. So let us all pursue activities that fill us with joy, because that joy is going to extend out from us and into the world and send out blessings that we just cannot guess at. It's a beautiful, marvelous, even mystical, magical kind of thing. So Shondra, I'm going to send Reiki to your garden. And everyone, I am going to send Reiki to all of our passions. All of our passions that fill us with joy, that fill our souls, and that we are excited and passionate about. So I'm going to send Reiki to all of that. Of course, as always, if you do not wish to have Reiki sent to you, don't worry, it won't be. If you're wondering, okay, what do I do now? You're going to send Reiki, Christian. This is a new thing for me. Just do whatever you want. Close your eyes, relax, lay down, stand up, do nothing, whatever you want to do. The Reiki will go where it needs to go. Oh, lovely, Shondra. Okay, so as I sent Reiki, I had the image. This is a strange one on me. So many of you know that when I send Reiki, I'll get images. And sometimes those images, I don't get them. This one was strange. I saw the image of a bus. A blue bus, like a public transit bus, public transportation. And I was like, the bus? What is up with the bus? I almost laughed. Here was the message from the bus. Get on the bus. So get on the bus in terms of your passions, your interests, the things that you love to do. Get on that bus and ride it. Ride it to its various destinations. Let it take you where it's going to. It's like getting on a public transit bus, and there are lots of people on that bus who are going, some to the same places, some to other places. But imagine if we were all riding the bus of love and joy and our passions. We're going to get off at different stops. So Shondra, your stop is gardening. Well, I'll get off on that stop with you too. But someone else's stop might be animals. And someone else's stop might be video games. And someone else's stop might be stamp collecting. Whatever. But if we're all riding that bus of joy and love, and we cannot wait to get to our destinations of gardening and stamp collecting, imagine what a ride that would be. Imagine what a joy-filled bus that would be. So let's all of us get on the bus, ride those passions, enjoy them, and don't apologize for them. There is no reason to apologize ever for the things that you love and your interests. So I really want to encourage you to get on the bus and enjoy that ride. So Shondra, I hardly even shuffled. Okay, I parted the cards, and 2 cards very clearly came out right onto my lap from the Archangel deck. And these are excellent cards. The top one is all is well. Archangel Jeremiah says, everything is happening exactly as it is supposed to. With hidden blessings, you will soon understand. Yes, thank you. Yes. Shondra, like I said, we can't always see the fruits of our labor right away. But know that those flowers you plant today will bring in butterflies and bees tomorrow. They will make the neighbors stop and say thank you next week. So trust and know that this is a beautiful, wonderful thing. If it fills you with joy, that's really all you need to know. Just keep going. Just keep doing it. Keep planting those seeds. And so appropriately, the card underneath it that also came out is passion. Archangel Haniel says, trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. Now, of course, what this is really talking about is the passion of your flowers, the passion for your yard, your gardens. Know that this is a beautiful, wonderful thing. Trust it. Follow it. This is a wonderful thing, Shondra. And Shondra, I'm going to pull one more card for you. I'm going to pull a Breathe Easy card. You know, sometimes when we're faced with that kind of situation where we love something and people are saying, I don't get it, whatever, it can really put us on the defensive and get us feeling like, oh, what's wrong with me? Or there's nothing wrong with me. What's wrong with you? And I really want to encourage you, Shondra, if you may have those feelings of defensiveness when your kids are asking you why you have so many flowers and I just don't get it, Mom, to work to release judgment of their judgment. Now, this is not easy to do, but to work to say, it's okay. And to stand firm in your love and to stand firm in your interests and your passion, and to know that their feelings about your passion say way more about them than it says about you. So when someone says to us, I just don't understand why you like this thing, what they're really saying is they themselves don't understand. Quite literally, right? I don't understand. And so what that means is that the block in the seeing is with them and not in what you are doing. So when they say, I don't get it, Mom, the not getting it part is all theirs. And there's nothing wrong with what you are doing. So the I don't get it is all about them. And it's a reflection of their beliefs, their feelings, their hold-ups, hang-ups, blocks, perceptions. That's all a reflection of them and not you and not your passions and interest. So I want to encourage you to work to release judgment of their judgment, because their judgment is all about them and not about you. So the Breathe Easy card that has popped out for you is I am a friend. A caring friend is worth more than any worldly possessions. I breathe in the loving friendship that makes life's struggles bearable. I am filled with love, light, and laughter to be shared with my friends. I breathe out all loneliness and distrust. Now, Shondra, what I'm getting from this card is your flowers are your friends. Our plant friends are here to support us. Your flowers are here to nurture you back and to support you. So I want to encourage you to lean upon your flower friends and to know that it is okay to view them as children and as friends, something that provides you with companionship and that you nurture and love. It's absolutely okay to do that if you feel so called. And what I'm also getting in this card too is the encouragement to maybe find some like minds. Maybe there's a gardening club in your area that you might like to join. Maybe you have friends who like to garden or who at the very least are happy to appreciate your flowers. But finding other people who share our passions can really help us when other people say they don't get it. Because it reminds us that, oh yeah, there are other people who are into this too. And it's not just me. And so if it's not just me, then it's okay. So, Shondra, finding like-minded people, finding friends who will encourage you in your passion, I think might also be helpful for you. Well, everyone, thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Shondra, for this great question. I send you blessings and best wishes for your garden. And I send all of us blessings and best wishes for our literal and metaphorical gardens. I send us blessings and best wishes for the seeds of joy and love that we sow and for the blessings that will sprout from them. Thank you, and best wishes for your journey. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Ask the Stones. If you have a question for Ask the Stones, please send me an email at christian@standingstoneshealing.com or connect with me on Facebook at Standing Stones Healing. Thank you, and best wishes for your journey.